Hey folks, Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with Astrology Mojo. I want to help you get your mojo back. Today we are talking about the upcoming lunar eclipse in Pisces at 15 degrees of Pisces. Do you know where that is in your chart? We're going to talk about the each of the signs. I forgot what we were going to talk about. This is your oracle reading for September. Not really. I mean, I did that last week, but I want to add to it and say this is really in depth for you in a general sense. Does that even fly? Well, that sounds like a Pisces, doesn't it? It's this, but it could be that. Pisces is guided by Neptune, and Neptune is now in the sign of Aries. This is not visible in this particular chart because I am talking about the lunar eclipse in Pisces 15 degrees and what it looks like opposing the sun and the south node and Mercury all in Virgo. So, yeah. And of course, we've got Jupiter in Cancer that is making a positive aspect to the sun and a positive aspect to the moon and the north node. What am I saying? What does this all mean? It means that wherever you're going in life, let's look at what you're letting go of first so you don't have to carry it with you. And so you've got support, celestial support always, inner support. And that's the thing you want to start chanting to yourself over and over again. I am supported. I am supported. And as soon as the negative chatter comes in, which is the downside of any sign, but especially in Pisces, it's, oh, it's never going to happen, or the cynicism. It's like, no, I don't believe that. Show me, give me the proof, or yeah, everything's beautiful when it's not, and you're with someone in your world that is causing harm or struggle or strife, and you just keep making concessions for the person. So now we're going to let go of some of this stuff because the eclipses happen in tandem, lunar and solar, solar or lunar. And the next eclipse we're having is on September 21st in the sign of Virgo. And of course, we'll be talking about that at the end of the month. But I want to just say that for each sign, it's really key that you look at addiction, obsession, being over medicated, being cynical, having an illusion that tells you, oh yeah, this is great. But I like to say Pisces is like walking through a beautiful ancient building that's on fire. And Pisces is admiring the architecture. So you want to be aware of where you have like false hope. I mean, no hope is really false, but when you're looking at a situation, whether it be career, health, wealth, passion, purpose, you're looking at a situation and you're saying, yeah, this is working, right? This feels good, right? And everybody's unhappy. It's not working. So what is it that you need to do for you to bolster what you need? Now that Neptune is in Aries, it's going to feel like suddenly you're injected with enthusiasm to the point of carrying a banner or starting a protest. So we don't need to go to extremes. So let's just cover the signs. Well, first I want to give you the astrology on it. So the moon in Pisces, this is for September 7th, the lunar eclipse in Pisces. And Neptune, Pisces, okay, it's a water sign, sensitive energy when it's not being cynical or negative or addicted. So it's an energy that's in all of us, and that it's a moon in Pisces, and this is a full total eclipse. And this particular eclipse at 15 degrees is opposing the sun. That's how it works. And the south node as well. Now, the south node is a calculation of the moon. So that we have the nodes involved in this particular eclipse tells me that there is something you're about to heal, release, and it's been possibly hard for you. Maybe you've been in counseling and you can only be in counseling for so long without acting on a different method. And so I always go to neuroscience because you could talk about something forever, but realize that when you're speaking about something for 17 seconds or more, your brain says, oh, let's pay attention. This is important. And whatever that vibe is based on the thought, the brain says, let's bring more of that to us. So now become aware of your thoughts in this Pisces lunar eclipse. And if you're tired, rest. If you're hungry, eat. If you're thirsty, have some water or some nutrients, some electrolytes, or some bone broth soup. Start caring for the physical form that houses the awareness, even though you are in the soul. Everywhere you go is the soul. Everywhere. You're an extension of light. You exist here, now, everywhere. So, what do we do with that information? Well, for Pisces, I would say it's time to, and let me just go to my notes. Pisces, I'm going to give keywords for each of the signs. Okay. Pisces, keyword, words, multiple. This is all about your first house in astrology, and it relates to your identity, the reinvention of you, visibility, being seen, and being seen authentically for who you truly are, what you believe, your opinions, without fear, without going to extremes either. Your self-image, how do you want to dress? What do you want to look like? And that can change in 20 minutes or a day or next year. But really present yourself the way you feel yourself is truly acknowledged. Okay, so you want to release like the false personas and then embody what it means to be you. Whether you're a Pisces sun, Pisces rising, Pisces moon, what does that look like for you? So let the old you melt away and make space for the version of you that you've been dreaming into being. How's that? And let's pull a card. This is from the Green Witch Oracle deck. I'll just pull a card for every sign. And this is for Pisces. So please come join me, say hello. And also, as soon as I pull a card, Pisces. Yeah. Okay. Moon, phases, cycles, intuition. So Pisces, be aware that this full moon in Pisces in your own sign is going to help increase your intuition. And it's a phase for you to release. What is it that you need to release? You're moving toward expansion and growth. So what does that look like? Write it down on a piece of paper, the things you don't want to be doing anymore, and then immediately write down what you do want to be doing, and then focus on those things. So the phases of the moon, the cycles that we undergo, this particular lunar eclipse for you is very potent, really potent. Okay. I'm also offering, maybe you've seen on Instagram or on Facebook, that I'm offering a free training. If you've ever wanted to become an intuitive astrologer, I make that easy for you. And I'm going to post the link right here in the chat so you can click on that and see where it takes you. And you'll be called to it. You'll know whether it's true for you or not. All right, we're moving on to Aquarius. Yeah, we're going to go opposite in the wheels. Okay, so Aquarius, the keywords for you, and this is about the second house. Second house in astrology is all about values, money, security, the job that you have. And this particular eclipse is looking at your self-worth. What are you worth on the open market? Your security, your possessions, your earning, what's shifting for you about that earning, how you want to be involved. And remember, Pisces can be very creative, very intuitive. Maybe you want to start giving tarot readings. Maybe you're an artist and you want to sell your stuff. Maybe you are more technical minded. Some Pisceans are really great at technology, believe it or not. So even though you're an Aquarius, you might start incorporating, oh, let me reach a wider audience. So the tip for you really is to ground your worth in what's real for you, not I love the idea of that. Great. Now ground it in security, make it real. And it's not about what others think you should be, it's about what you feel is appropriate for you and how you want to embody. Um, like it's like bringing that dream into being and making it real. And in the second house, it's getting paid for it. I mean, bottom line, but you have to value you and your resources first. So as an example, our child is an Aquarius rising sign, and they're an artist. And they also do nanny work. They also are very craft worthy. I mean, they just give them stuff and they make stuff. It's amazing. And what they decided to do is they have a part time job at an anime coffee house. And they decided to gather artists for tabling, to put them, I don't know how many tables they could fit in this particular coffee house, maybe 5 or 6, but to gather these artists so that they could sell their wares, and a percentage of that goes to the house and to them. And so they're wanting to see, oh, is this something that their boss was into? So they presented the idea. The boss said yes. And then our kids said, well, I'd also like to be doing tarot readings or oracle readings. And they said, yeah, sure, that'd be great. Just let's bring the people in. So there's a way to configure what you're thinking, how you're feeling, how to dream it into being and make it real, concretize it, and then monetize it. Aquarius, sun, rising, and moon. Let's pull a card for you. Here's one. Summer, expansion and growth. Expansion and growth, even though we're at the end of summer here in the Northern Hemisphere, but it has to do with, look at the bee is gathering the honey and the pollen. I mean, making the honey from the pollen. So it's putting together those ideas and making use of your resources right now. That's what that card's about. Okay, moving on. Come say hello to me. Moving on to Capricorn, third house for you, my friend. Capricorn, sun, rising, and moon. And the keywords for you, Capricorn, are communication, yes, but the third house has more to do with perception and belief system. In traditional astrology, people say third house is all about communication, but let's back it up, because what you're thinking stems from what you're feeling based on a judgment or a perception of an experience or the unknown. So if you're stalled at something, you're thinking, oh, I've never done that, I don't know how, I'll just wait a little while longer, you're going to be stalled. If you're thinking, oh, I'm excited about that, I know someone else did it, they showed me how, I'm going to take some steps to get there. So whatever you're perceiving and believing becomes your new form of expression and communication. This house also deals with siblings or friends who are close, like siblings, short trips, journeys, early education, or things that you might have learned you need to unlearn now in this Pisces lunar eclipse, that, oh, you talk too much, or you don't talk enough, or you're so creative, or, oh, that's too bad, you missed your calling, things like that. Like how many times have you been told, Capricorn, sun, rising, and moon, that a teacher said, or someone important in your life, an adult or an authority figure, said to you, yeah, it's great to dream, but you got to make a living. So, like become a teacher, or, get a job at the whatever, and then do your art part-time, or your music part-time, or your writing part-time. Right. So, let's let go of those old perceptions of what it's like to live in this world. So, you're creating a new narrative, Capricorn, sun, rising, and moon, a new narrative. What does that look like? Let's start writing about it. Let's start believing that it's true. Because your tip really is to speak softly, listen deeply, not to what's going on around you, but deep within. What's the moment you suddenly feel sullen, or it's not going to happen, or I don't know, I'm too old, I don't have enough money, the not enoughs, right? So the dream. Whatever the dream is, just take one step toward it by believing, first of all, that it's possible. And then, oh my gosh, okay. So clarity comes with being emotionally honest. Okay. The bottom line, clarity comes with being emotionally honest, Capricorn, sun, rising, and moon. And the card that I picked for you is Fehu in the runes. It's the mint card, and it says abundance, persistence, proliferation. So the more you focus on something that you want, you're going to start creating a journey. That's the new narrative. And that journey is going to take you to the next step and the next and the next. And then we're going to see some abundance coming your way through your honest clarity of your feelings, pushing aside the old in this lunar eclipse, doing a meditation, doing a purge, have a quick chat with a trusted friend or a counselor and get clear on what it is you need to let go of that's been stopping you. And then you can move forward. Replace that with something positive, like I am. Remember, 17 to 68 seconds or more, and your brain says, this is important. Let's bring more energy of that like to us. Sagittarius, Sag rising and Sag moon. All right, this takes place, this lunar eclipse, in your fourth house. That is home, family, roots, ancestry, the four walls, real estate. It's your emotional foundations, your sacred space. It is you, ultimately, who you are truly on the inside. And so there may be an issue with mom or the feminine side of you, or a parent or a grandparent. During this time, maybe you're letting go of someone or something that is no longer resonating with you, and you're cleaning out closets, literally, figuratively. You're cleaning out the space. But the tip really here is to create emotional safety and security so that you have, I like to call the fourth house your sanctuary. So you want you to really evolve in that space. And maybe you work at home. You could be a realtor, maybe you're an artist, a writer, maybe you have an office set up and you're a part-timer, you work at home. There has to be boundaries in the home, and there has to be a sense of belonging. So to what and to whom do you feel you belong? And that can mean, if you're having issues with family members, or perhaps you're all on your own and it's time to let go of the woe is me, I'm so alone, and start to incorporate some activities that would include other people and start to make friends, even though that's not the main issue of the fourth house. But as I pull this card for you, this is a time and there's even a moon on this card. It says snow, rest, and contemplation. This card is telling me that the lunar eclipse in your fourth house, Sagittarius, sun, rising, and moon, is about reworking that internal space, that part of you that says, I feel at home in my skin. I feel at home in who I am. And if that's not true, that's where you need to go first and make those necessary emotional adjustments and intellectual adjustments, and then in your four walls so that you feel at home in your skin. Okay, moving on to Scorpio, fifth house. This lunar eclipse for you is also a water sign, and the fifth house is the fun house. You got to watch the too much partying and over imbibing. Fifth house is creativity, it's children, it's joy, it's fun, it's projects. It could be music, art, especially with Pisces. It could be music, art, drama, theater, fashion, film, photography. I mean, it's anything that deals with the visual image and what creates that image. When I listen to music, I see pictures. When I meditate, I like to hear chanting. It helps my mind to focus on what's important for me in that moment. So Scorpio, romance, creativity, children, joy, inner child, artistic inspiration, emotional expression, it's all there, but you need to watch the overindulgence into the negative. into the woe is me, or which might cause addiction and obsession. So if you have sights set on someone, you're attracted to someone, and all you can think about is that someone, or all you can do is obsess about that person, you need more harmony and balance, and to create that with artistic expression. So writing, singing, dancing, music, play, film, photography, all that stuff, pottery making, whatever it is, to create this balance between what you're thinking and feeling. And if it's so intense that you can't see around it and you have to mollify it or mitigate it with smoking, drinking, drugging, or too much sex, you are not in a place of balance. And if there's a romantic partner that you have, Scorpio, sun, rising, and moon, that is addicted to something or undergoing a difficult time right now, this is the time for you to get clear on what's the adult process, how you two can come together heart to heart through intimacy, into me you see, in a sober way, to be even more sober about your feelings and what stems from that, and the vision that you had for a romantic relationship. This applies to kids and children too. So if you're a grandparent and you have a grandchild who and you're a Scorpio, sun, rising, or moon, and you're not close to your grandkids, or or maybe it's you just had an opportunity to excuse me, to teach a class or be part of a group, a camp thing, or some kind of committee that helps to promote creativity in children, to get them off the streets, to get them involved in something that is productive and creative instead of, just hanging out, waiting for something to happen. So Scorpio, sun, rising, and moon, there's so many definitions of what this could be, but overall, this creative emotional expression is about being sober, being intimate, and coming from the heart. So really, it's time for you to reconnect with joy, make time to play, create, or flirt with inspiration. All right, we're moving on to Libra, 6th house. Okay, Libra, you're a dual sign, air sign. And so there might have been a lot of drama recently with the Pisces lunar eclipse, or there's about to be drama or melodrama. Drama breaks up stuff, but melodrama is like when we get stuck in this stuff. So you need to set some healthy boundaries regarding health services, work, routine, your health, the health of a pet. It also deals with automotive. So maybe you need to get your car retuned or something. Watch out for burnout, emotional fatigue, and there needs to be that harmony. And that's your motto, harmony between work-life balance. Libra, sun, rising, and moon, because this particular lunar eclipse will bring up people's stuff, and you being a peacemaker or a harmonizer is going to take it on and want to solve their problems. But unless you're being paid to do it, or unless it's a very dear friend, or unless you're a doctor, a nurse, or someone in the health industry, a holistic person, a massage therapist, it's not your job, really, but it can affect you. I knew someone who worked in oncology, a nurse, and she saw, as she was young, and everything that was going on, she said it literally made her sick. And then she was diagnosed herself, and she left the field of oncology and went to a holistic healing place and healed herself naturally, and said it was such a toxic environment to see all these people in their sad places with toxic chemicals, which was the best that they, people are well-meaning, but those methods weren't working. And so if you're in a healthy environment, great, keep it up, but make sure you get some time alone and rest and take care of your pets if you've got any. I'm going to pull a card for you. Scorpio, did I pull a card for you? I can't even remember. I hope I did. Okay. So, SOW, planting, setting intentions, and optimism. That's for you, Libra, 6th house. You want to really be really, you want to be very intentional about what you're creating and the seeds that you are sowing at work and at home with your health, the health of others, and with your pets. All right, moving on. Virgo, 7th house. Okay, Virgo, this is your opposite. So in the general charts, this may be somewhere in another house in your personal chart, whoever's listening, but keep this in mind that the 7th house is all about partnerships and mirroring emotional contracts. Not that you came here with them, but that you developed them here while you were here, dissolving dynamics and then building them up. Soulmates, boundaries, expression, being honest, having the flow. So if Virgo, you're having a tough time in partnerships, relationships with clients at work, fans, your the people that you work with. I mean, this is a time for you really to see where you're being seen, to express yourself in a healthy way. If you're not being seen, if someone is saying, "Oh no, you're not doing your job properly." You want to know about these things. That's on the downside because there can be a lot of melodrama with a Pisces lunar eclipse. And then there's a lot of release. So, and maybe it's just been an emotional time. It doesn't have to be melodrama. It just can be, oh, maybe your spouse has a mother, sister, grandmother, feminine energy. Lunar eclipse is feminine, who's going through a rough time, and you need to be there more for your partner. It can be that as well. But if you're feeling the lack of connection in relationship, now is the time for you to have a spa day, even if it's just in your own home for 2 hours. You've got, your mask on, you've sipped your tea, you're listening to beautiful chants or Joe Dispenza. You are tuning in, not necessarily tuning out to them, but you're tuning into you first to see what you need so that you can let go of those expectations or the gripes that you have, or wanting to help your partner. And maybe you can. It could be a business partner. It doesn't have to be a romantic partner. So there has to be conversation around what's necessary and what's needed right now. So the reflection is on your relationship patterns. What do you typically do in a relationship? Do you always take it on? Do you always try to conduct, traffic for people with your friends or your family or your spouse? But is that aligned with your emotional truth? Are you allowing yourself to receive? Allowing is the key word. Are you allowing it to come to you as much as you give to others? Think about that. And then find the emotional truth with that alignment. And let me pull a card for you, Virgo, Sun, Rising, and Moon. And when I'm done with all this, just remember that I am going to do timestamps in YouTube. So give me a hot second to do that. Okay, Virgo. Earthworm, clarity and rumination. Okay, this is the earthworm card. And the earthworm plows a hole through something, but it also aerates the soil. And so while it's digging its hole, it's gaining clarity on its direction. And it gives you time to think about that direction with partnerships. And if you don't have one, if you're grieving the loss of a partnership, this could also mean that you are coming to terms with that loss. Maybe the person left the planet, maybe the person left the state. So it's coming to terms with clarity and rumination, and meditate and take a nap. Better days ahead, Virgo. Okay, Leo, Sun, Rising, and Moon. We are looking at 8th house. 8th house. That is the house of joint resources, sex, death, taxes. So it's income, the spousal income, it's insurance matters. And for you with this with this Pisces lunar eclipse, the key words here are intimacy, trust, transformation. it feels like you have energetic debts, like you feel beholden to someone, or you feel like because you're stuck in certain patterns, generational patterns, that you just keep attracting the same kind of client or the same kind of banker or, accountant or spouse. And even though you're sharing resources, there's a power dynamic here that it's not equal. So we need to find equality in this power dynamic right now. And that is learn a little bit about what earning money looks like, where to put your money. If you're someone who doesn't save and your partner does, then this is a time to come together and talk about a payment plan or what to do. Like, which is it? Do you need a living trust? Is it estate planning? Is it finding better insurance rates? Is it dealing with, because it's all stemming from your energy. So, whatever your belief is, unconscious and subconscious, Leo, sun, rising, and moon, about finances, about money, about abundance, about prosperity, about having, instead of having to work for it all the time, that has to get taken care of first. So I highly recommend Joe Dispenza meditations, or one of his events, and going deep within your ability to feel worthy, to overcome that wound and feel worthy so that you can stand up for yourself and that you can have equality and that you can have abundance. The tip here for you, really, Leo, is to release control over what? That's the question. And trust the emotional alchemy that's happening beneath the surface. This needs to change because you're worth more than you think you are. But if you're stopped up somewhere financially, here, the card that I just pulled for you is called the trunk. It's the trunk of a tree, and there's an owl. So there's wisdom involved here with you going deep within. Before you look at, oh, it's my spouse or it's my business partner, or it's the accountant. It's not about them. It's about you allowing prosperity and trusting that it's going to come in a safe way, that you won't have to pay for something. So the trunk is stability, loyalty, and reliability. You are these things. Now you need to have them with others and ask for that from others and find that congruency with others so that the prosperity rolls in even more. Sex, death, taxes. That's what the 8th house is all about. Okay, we're moving on. The sign of Cancer, also a water sign. This has to do with your 9th house, marketing, contracts, belief shifts, the higher truth, publishing, long distance matters, perhaps, could be foreign affairs, exploration of something that you desire, divine perspective. It could deal with education. Maybe you have a training program that you're selling. Maybe you're involved in, an educational system, or perhaps it also deals with the law and contracts. So maybe there are some things you have to review in order to feel like this lunar eclipse is going to weed out the contracts, emotional, intellectual, physical, signed contracts that no longer apply to you. And then you're going to beef up the ones that do. So you're not going to, let's have a standard, Cancer, sun, rising, and moon. You're not going to take on clients that suck you dry. No, just because you think, oh, well, it's a paycheck. No. No, there's a boundary there, a standard, and you need to uphold that and then delegate so that you're not the one doing all the work. You're a cardinal energy, Cancer, sun, rising, and moon, and sometimes you don't allow other people to help you because you think, oh, I just might as well do it myself. Why not? In the time that it takes to teach somebody to be my assistant or to help me with booking a club if you're a musician or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like your promotion needs to involve other people. So that marketing team, you need to have a conversation with. And if you're an educator or you're someone who's very spiritually oriented and you're meditating often, I want you to start thinking in new ways before you sit down to that meditation and move into different areas. This lunar eclipse is going to show you the weeding out of things, and that includes your process. So if you have a belief system that, oh, yes, I came here with a contract and I have to, do all these things. No, you didn't. You're doing these things because you think you have to do these things. Or that, well, who else is going to do them? That's another belief that you can let go of. There's lots of people on this earth that you can rely on. Is that the issue? So the ninth house is opposite the third house, and that opposition is about beliefs, and those beliefs form matter. So what's the matter? You're the matter, Cancer, Sun, Rising, and Moon, and your matter is divine. I'm going to pull a card for you. So, let your key tip here is for this lunar eclipse in Pisces is let your inner compass guide you. Question the old beliefs that no longer serve you. And I'm talking about the ones that you hold, like, I got to get this done. I can't stop working until I get this done. Get out of the chair. Take a walk in nature. You need to change up the pattern or you won't get anything done. And you'll just keep questioning and okay, well, I pull the fog card, obscurity, feeling lost. So when you, Cancer, Sun, Rising, and Moon, when you're in a place of thinking, I think who has said it? Einstein said it, that we cannot solve the problem from the same mind that created it. We cannot find the solution to the problem from the same mind that created it. So you have to change it up, change up the pattern. If you eat the same thing every day at the same time, Joe Dispenza talks about this. So if you're in the fog right now and you're wondering, why is this happening? Or why isn't this happening? Or what else could be happening? I can't get clear on this. Then you need to step out of your comfort zone, Cancer, Sun, Rising, and Moon, and get into that place of, I'm going to do one new thing a day, and I'm going to get clarity. And that clarity is going to feel right. And remember, from the beginning, I talked about you having this ability to, everyone does, to focus on something for 17 seconds. And if you're focused on the problem, there's a problem, the solution can't come to you. So let's focus on something that gives you joy for 10 minutes, 68 seconds. And you have to not be so doggedly persistent that if I don't do it, it doesn't get done. Well, if that's the case, you're on planet U, and planet U is going to get exhausting. So let's move that energy, come out of the fog with this lunar eclipse, do something different. Go listen to movies, listen to music, watch a movie, do something that's fun, that's fantastical. Get out the sketch pad and just draw with both hands. You got to break up the pattern, Cancer, Sun, Rising, and Moon. And when you do that, you're going to let go of the woe is me, which you didn't even know existed, because you're so dogged and you're so ambitious and you're so determined to get that thing done. And it's so admirable, but okay. We got to let that go. It'll be okay. Okay, we're moving on to Gemini, 10th house. All right. Well, the 10th house is all about career and masculine parent and life direction. So, a 10th house is the crossroads sometimes, especially with a lunar eclipse there, and public image, your reputation, the legacy, the leadership, what you're involved in, your emotional authority, and then your intellectual authority. You may be the leader of a team at work. You may be part of a team. Maybe you're retired and you're thinking, I don't have a team. But you used to, and you miss that. And my father-in-law is 93. He's not a Gemini, he's a Libra, but still air sign. And every morning he gets up, gets showered, gets dressed, and he walks 2 blocks to the coffee house where he sits with his buddies. And they talk about stuff, politics or whatever's going on with people's health at that age. And they talk about stuff. He has a purpose. So what is your purpose now for your career, Gemini? And career can also mean life direction. It doesn't have to mean, 9-to-5 job. You could be a freelancer. You could be, I know a lot of Gemini, I have a lot of Gemini clients. I know a lot of Gemini people who they volunteer, they work, but in different areas. So it keeps it lively, keeps it moving. They have different types of clients. I want you to look at this lunar eclipse in Pisces as your time to release the negativity around work, because it's not about the people and it's not about what you're doing. It's about you thinking this is how it has to happen. Now, it sounds similar to Cancer, but different in the way that you have a lot of knowledge and wisdom to offer whatever team or group or people are in your world. But what do you want? What is it that you want? Because sometimes, Gemini polarizes and they get stuck on one side and they do it, they do it, they do it. And then suddenly they go that way. And then they divorce the industry, the person, the ideology, the town, the country, and then they go somewhere else. So find the bridge. That's what I say to Gemini. Find the bridge to what really speaks your truth and how you can move and stop, get beyond the hedge. And there's a Libra symbol back there. So I am not surprised that I brought up Libra because I'm looking at two sides of the hedge. There's two scales. So it's like, where do you want to be? What do you want to be doing? It says potential. You have that. Where are your boundaries? And what's your indecision about? Oh, if I leave this job, I don't know what I'm going to get next. Or if I leave this job, I was about to get, promoted or make tenure or whatever. But you're not happy. So there's a lot of extremes existing in this place. So you want to look at where you're headed, but how does it feel? Gemini, sun, rising, and moon. How does it feel? So your tip right now is to step back and feel before you make a career move or a life enhancing move. Your heart knows the way. Let's tune into the heart right now, Gemini. Okay, Taurus, 11th house. This is opposite the 5th house. The 11th house in astrology is all about friendships and associations, groups, peers. This is a tribal shift for you with the lunar eclipse here. It's about a future vision of a community. Being kind of detached about it, maybe because you're letting go of one thing, but you're taking on something else. And we want to focus on soul groups, the kind of people you're really speaking to. Like when I say I am promoting something, if you want to become an astrologer, I'm promoting something, and I'm a Taurus. I'm promoting something, and I made a bunch of videos, and our marketing team is like putting them out on Facebook and Instagram. And so I'm attracting a new tribe. I use that as an example. So this lunar eclipse can be letting go of the idea of what you want without the practice, and moving toward the practice of that idea. What kind of people do you want surrounding you? What kind of people do you want to work with, work for, be the boss of? What kind of friends do you want to have? Who do you want to share yourself with and share your knowledge and your wisdom? And so I pulled this card for someone else and I can't think, but it's planning, setting intentions, optimism. And I mix up these cards a lot while I talk. So anyway, sow those seeds of who you want to be and with whom, so that they can begin to grow and blossom and bring that joy back to you. Because, Taurus, sun, rising, and moon, reevaluate who you're growing with. If they're not growing, that's luggage. So you want to let go of outdated alliances if you haven't done that already. And it doesn't have to be a negative, nasty thing. It's like, okay, well, I don't vibe anymore, so I'm moving in this direction. I wish you well. And that's all that is. So what could that be? Moving away with Pisces, people who are negative, don't take action. Friends or clients or associates who say they're going to do something and they don't. That's a drain. Now you want people who are more mystical, more aligned, more visual, more focused on an ideal vision that they have in their heart. They want to help a community. These are the people that you want to be associated with, right? And so reevaluate who you're growing with. If they're not growing, they need to be going. Taurus, sun, rising, and moon. Okay, and then you make room for new. Aries, 12th house. Last but not least, okay, The 12th house is all about psyche. You're surrendering to the divine, the subconscious, unconscious solitude. It is the core of who you are psychologically. And it's about a spiritual reset right now, the hidden patterns, healing, release. With a lunar eclipse in Pisces there, you could be grieving something and not realize it. And then your actions stem from those patterns. So you've just started let's just say you've started a new world and a new road. And so you want to take new things with you, just like I was saying to Taurus. But first you need to get clear on what is making you sad. Or, and I know you don't like to feel these feelings, but what keeps you in a circling pattern? Where is there a tentative, even though you're bold and you can jump ahead before the gun goes off, I'm sorry for that reference. I was thinking of a race. Okay. This is perfect for you, this card. I love this. Cup of tea. Patience and reassessment right now, Aries, before you move on to something even bigger or greater. Let's just be patient and say, I am where I am right now. This lunar eclipse in Pisces is showing me how I feel about certain things and about releasing the past and the grief. That sounds a lot like Virgo's reading as well. So if you have any combination of Virgo and Aries, please listen to that one as well. So being patient, and if you're excited, you have a new thing you want to start and you're ready to get going, I want you to reassess along the way, especially this month of September during this eclipse phase, because the Virgo solar eclipse, which we'll talk about in a couple of weeks, is going to shed light on what's new and what's next based on what you're letting go of now. So you want to let go of this, whatever this thing is subconsciously. How do you do that? Well, you can go into counseling and do some hypnotherapy with a qualified person, some deep and profound meditation, walks in nature, swimming, hiking, just moving some energy and saying, oh my gosh, I got it. I understand what's happening, because you're going to recognize patterns, Aries, sun, rising, and moon. And during this time where you rest and rejuvenate and have like a spa week, even if you have to go to work, have like spa mind set where you come home, you turn off the phone, you turn off the technology, unless you're going to watch a movie and space out, and do something that just you're having a cup of tea. Did I shuffle it back? Here you go. Honey, you're having a cup of tea and you're just going to be patient and reassess where you are, because as soon as you start to let go of things that you don't want, here come the new things that you do. I hope this was helpful for everyone. I so appreciate you being here. Remember to share, like, subscribe, and to click the link that I have given you if you're interested in becoming an intuitive astrologer. I show you how easy it is to do that, and you could take it from there. You'll know what's true for you. As always, I wish you peace, and I'll see you soon.